Working as an architect is not all about creativity and hard work. It is also about knowing how to speak with different people, how to explain your ideas in a way everyone can understand, or if it's your first meeting with new potential client, knowing how to present yourself and convince that person that he is making the right decision by choosing to work with you. It is also your job as an architect to explain the process and complexity of different tasks that go into making the project. At the same time, explaining it in a way people won't get scared and could understand it as structured process. When I first started working as an architect, I was curious and afraid at the same time to be left alone with a new client, because I didn't know how to start a conversation and how to set up the right tone for the new possible collaboration. After many years of practice, I started to create those connections to my clients, and today I want to talk to you about those connections. The first meeting, in my opinion, is the most important, because that's where you make your first impression. And depending whether people like you or not, you'll get to design something for them. It is also the time when you decide if you want to work with that person or organization yourself. So what does it take to make a good first impression? First, make your client feel comfortable being around you, in your office or in any other environment. This purely depends on the way you act. Being relaxed and self-confident always helps. Also, as much as architecture is also a business, don't be too businesslike and try to find a personal relation to people you are talking to. Having a poker face would not help create a warm, friendly atmosphere. You should also motivate your clients to talk about all their ideas. Let them explain what they want. Let them talk about everything, also about personal life, like hobbies. The more information you can get, the easier it's gonna be for you to work with them in the future. A common mistake is that architects start to talk too much in the beginning of the first meeting. In this way, you can represent yourself as being desperate or ignorant. Don't talk too much in the beginning of the first meeting. Just make sure your client feels comfortable and let him explain why he needs an architect in the first place. At the same time, by letting your client or a group of clients speak, you get to know them, what type of persons they are, what background do they come from, and that helps you to adapt your language so that everyone would understand what you are talking about. There are many angles to choose from when talking about architecture, and it is your job to pick the right language to explain the design that your client understands the best. People are very different. Some people require a very philosophical explanation, whereas others prefer a very technical talk. You can't think that everyone has a similar mind to you. In fact, only architects think alike sometimes. At the same time, don't underestimate your clients and respect their background, even if it doesn't involve a solid education. What you can do is speak the universal language. Don't go too heavy using architectural terms or explain them as you talk. Remember, you don't have a goal to make your client feel bad because he knows nothing about the matter. Instead, try to excite him talking about the potential of his project so he wouldn't lose his motivation. It is also a good practice to present yourself by showing previous works of yours that relate to the project you are about to be commissioned to design. It is also okay to show some other good examples of architecture using magazines, books, or even internet for that matter, if it relates to the subject and you don't have your own project to illustrate and back up the ideas that are being discussed. You should also react to the way people are talking to you. It doesn't mean that you have to start swearing if your client does so, but if you like working with a particular customer, make sure he or she understands you. Sometimes you have to be more personal, sometimes more emotional, or sometimes very technical. It all depends on who are you talking with. Architects are also people, like everyone else, so there is no need to act as you are very special or to be arrogant in any way. Always try to understand your client's point of view, even if you don't agree with his opinion. Another important advice for the first meeting is don't hurry to talk all money. First, explain the process of work and how you approach the project. Ask all the questions you need to know to get the idea of the scale of the project, how many other people are going to be involved. Many clients want to know the exact price as soon as possible, and you can't blame them. But only talk numbers when all is explained, because your primary interest is an architectural task and not the money. The money is a consequence. That doesn't mean you have to avoid any money-related subjects, but as mentioned, the first meeting is all about the first impression. And you don't want to make an impression that all you care about is money. Once you do agree to work with your client, you have to agree on all the financial numbers and payment schedules, so there would be no surprises or reasons for a conflict later on. We discussed many advices, but the true one is that if you have chosen to be an architect, you are most likely a creative person and you cannot pretend to be someone you are not. So always be yourself, only work on those small details and you'll find it very easy and satisfying to talk to new clients for the first and the other times to come. If you like the video, make sure to hit that thumbs up button and subscribe to my channel. Thanks for watching. Cheers!